alaikum, brothers and sisters. Thank you very much for inviting us today. Me and brother Syed Raza, we're part of the Bayat Ghadeer team. We've been invited to speak in English on this topic, and of course, inshallah ta'ala, we will try to summarize the topic area within 10 minutes, and I will cover the area which will deal with cultural heritage and its importance, and Syed Raza will then deal with traditions, which talk about the importance of visitations to the dead. Now, I want to start by just asking a simple question. What do we understand history is? What is it? History is essentially a means by which we understand how the people of the past lived. And we learn from that past, the way they lived, past events, key events in history, events that could which basically shape our lives in this day and age. That's what history is all about. If you want to understand history, what methods are there? One, reading textbooks. When you go to school, when your children go to school, they learn about history as a subject to you. And they have texts where they understand and they're told about past events. Almost they memorize it by rote, but it gives them an understanding about what history is. Then you get documentaries in this day and age, about what history is. So we kind of get an understanding. But the best way for an individual to understand events of the past and historical aspects of the past is through what? Through key items, artifacts. That's what cultural heritage is about. If you want to understand how people of the past lived, you look at some of those examples. You can have the most mundane things. Pots and pans, what they wrote, whether they wrote books, whether they wrote wills, the houses in which they lived, the houses in which they were born, where they died, where key events were written down, where key events occurred. That's what history is all about. It's what we call in this day and age cultural heritage. Cultural heritage is that which essentially, it can encompass so many things, but it essentially is a preservation of buildings, for example, which have a cultural value to us, an importance in history. It can be where somebody was born. It can be where somebody died. It can be an event where a battle took place. But those areas, those specific locations have an intrinsic cultural value. And what's the benefit to us? I'll tell you what benefit it is to us. You can look at any book. Cultural heritage has a value because what does it do? It brings communities together because they have a sense of link, a sense of belonging to that cultural heritage site. So for example, when our kids will go and they will go on a trip, schools will arrange trips to museums and they will see historical sites, or they will see, for example, the British War Museum. That's all cultural for them. It's to do with the history of the Second World War. And it kind of almost confirms their Britishness. It gives this sense of identity. I'm going somewhere which has got history linked to it, where there were key decisions which affected people at the time, and it's affected me for the betterment. So really, cultural heritage has this kind of sense of belonging. You feel part of something, and you have a religious connection as well, if it's in terms of religious figures. That's what cultural heritage is all about. Having a sense of identity and a sense of importance, which is why time and time again we have events. Recently, I'll give you an example. When there was the anniversary of the Battle of the Somme, I remember seeing one individual. She went to the venue where the dead are buried, and someone asked her, a reporter asked her, "Why did you come here?" She goes, "It's important to me." "Why is it important to you?" "Because people are buried here who fought for my freedom. So I owe them a kind of a duty to go there and send my respects." So for her, that was an aspect of cultural heritage, to go there and have that kind of connection. That people are buried here, which I owe them a debt of gratitude for what they've done. And it's the same with the Normandy landings, where people are buried. You know, people go to that place. It was a very, very violent war, violent struggle, which sought to overthrow the Germans. But people go to those places because they have a cultural link, and they want to salute, to say, look, you achieved something for the betterment of these nations. So that's what cultural heritage is about. So essentially, when we talk about cultural heritage for us, every single country is proud of its culture, of its heritage. That's what it's about. If you look, for example, I'm a planning solicitor, and one of the areas that I work in is, for example, when they determine planning applications, we look at cultural heritage sites. Are they protected? Will the decision have any impact on that specific site? And if it won't, permission won't be granted. Because there is a national pride in cultural heritage sites. It could be mundane ones. You look around here, you've got sites where a plaque, somebody died here, somebody was born here, a meeting occurred here, because people are proud of their heritage. That's why here in this country we seek to preserve it, to ensure nothing happens to ruin it. Every single society has the same thing. UNESCO has World Heritage Sites for that same purpose, that there is an intrinsic part in history that needs to be preserved, and these sites need to be preserved for that purpose. Every single society values its heritage. It loves its heritage, except one. And it's these people behind this building that represent the Saudi government, which are opposed to cultural heritage. Since 1926, they have set about on a campaign to shred, press the delete button on every aspect of cultural heritage to do with Islam. Whether it's to do with places wherein the Prophet lived, where for example he spent time, his birthplace, the place where his wives lived, the place where his children, his grandchildren are buried, his daughter is buried. Every aspect has been set on about to destroy it, to finish it, to eradicate it, so that there is no essential history. Islamic history has been wiped clean by these individuals. So, and the biggest irony of it is, these very same people that are insistent that Islamic heritage, these sites need to be destroyed, they're the same individuals which are telling everybody else that we are the true people that protect the message of the Prophet, peace be upon him, and his family, and we are the people that defend the Sahaba and defend the AhleBait and the wives of the Prophet. Is that how you defend them? By destroying their shrines? Is that how you defend them? By destroying those sort of sites wherein they fought? The Battle of Khandaq, you're destroying the steps, you're preventing people from going there. I'm telling you now, those of us been to heritage sites, you simply enter there and you have this feeling of belonging, and you can place yourself back there. We don't in any way go there to worship, but when you go there you feel a part of those sites. And what are they doing? They're trying to shred history clean of it. And the same people which are seeking to destroy cultural heritage sites of Islam in their country are seeking to preserve the birthplace of Abdullah bin Wahab. And they're going to turn it into a tourist site for people to remember. So, the individual that founded the Saudi kingdom, their backbone, he's worthy of being respected and being preserved. Whereas those individuals who Islam shows a debt of gratitude, who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has purified a thorough purification, they deserve nothing. This, brothers and sisters, is why we are here today. That we demand that you recognize that the burial site of Al-Baqi is a sacred one, in which we as Muslims have every right to go there and to send our respects and our salutations to the AhleBait alayhi salatu wassalam. It is that shrine, those shrines we want rebuilt, so we can go there and send our blessings in the same way that we have the opportunity to send blessings to the other holy sites.